So, my pet rabbit Tobo has been sick for the last 2 months, starting from November. Tobo is an older bunny. She's 10 years old to be exact, and in human age, that's 90 years old. Now, at 90 years old, your body's going to start deteriorating if it hasn't been doing so already. And, that's basically what's going on with Tobo. We got her back in 2012 when she was this little tiny fur ball of a bunny at 6 weeks old. I remember Jay and I were going through one of the hardest times of our lives. Back then, we were both unemployed and we were neck deep in debt because the year before that, I had closed down my tutorial business. But my pet bunny came to us at the darkest point of our life and gave us so much joy. If it weren't for her and her cute little antics, I'm not sure if we would have found a reason to laugh back then. Now, if you've never owned a pet rabbit, they act like a cross between a puppy and a cat. Tobo is a free roam, so she used to go everywhere we went. She followed us everywhere. If we were on the couch, that's where she'd be. If we moved to the computer area, that's where she'd be too. She would jump into our laps and climb our shoulders and demand a cuddle. And she's a curious bunny, so she'd explore every corner of the room, dig and pull at the carpet, and sniff people's toes whenever someone would visit us. Also, when Jay and I had arguments, she'd rush to us and get in the middle of us, trying to dissipate the intense energy between us. Just really filled our life with so much lightness and so much joy. During the 10 years together, Jay and I went through a lot of changes in our lives. And, Tobo was right there with us. I'm especially grateful that she saw me through the hermit stage of my life where I was isolated and alone for years. She was my only companion during that time and even possibly the only one I felt connected to in such a complete way. She was and is such a big part of my life. But now she's 10 years old, 90 in human age, and she's been sick for a while. The last time we took her to the vet, the doctor warned us that it's not going to be a pretty road from now on, and he talked to us about putting her down soon, how that might be the kind thing to do. It honestly was devastating and absolutely heartbreaking to hear that. With animals, they remain playful and young and energetic until the last stage of their life when they age rapidly. And that's how it was with Tobo. She went from acting like a bunny to acting like a 90-year-old woman in the past year. And it was heartbreaking to see her deteriorate so quickly. And I have to admit, I'd often tear up and cry. I couldn't imagine my life without my little bunny companion. I miss her so much. Anyway, after hearing the doctor talk about putting her down, I had to come to terms with her leaving us soon. I have enough insights about soul, spirits, and the afterlife that I'm not really worried about Tobo passing. I know she's going to be more than okay, and she's probably going to merge back with Source. But I am sad. The grieving process doesn't start with death, but it starts earlier when we start to see the spirit of our loved ones slowly and gradually departing more and more. We see them sleep longer and more often, and their personality starts to fade. And we know instinctively to prepare our hearts to let them go. I understand that's the process I'm in right now. So, I'm not resisting it, but rather feeling the whole thing. Now, on a more technical level, I was so confused about when the right time was to put Tobo down. The last thing I want to do is force her to suffer unnecessarily, but I don't want to make the mistake of letting her go too early either. I mean, how do I know it's time to let her go, you know? So I searched the internet for definitive signs. But if you've done this research yourself for your senior pets, you'd know that the information out there is really vague. Anyway, with all this grief and confusion about what to do and when to do it, I didn't have the mindset to connect with spirit for a while. I don't know about you, but when I don't take the time to connect, I feel heavy, like I'm running on empty. So, the other day I decided to take some time to write and connect. Now, this is how I've always connected to spirit and how I center myself. This and meditation. I start writing, get into a deep flow, get into this meditative kind of state, and then that's when I'd connect to spirit. And in this connected state, we have conversations. Anyway, so sometimes during these conversations, I'm shown certain visions or certain knowledge or insights would become unlocked. Now, meditation works for me as well, but writing has always been my preferred mode of communication. So this time, as I was writing, I was shown how animals' death process was like. I was probably shown this because I've been praying that I didn't want Tobo to suffer. And, praying for intuitive signs that I would know when to let her go. Anyway, so in this vision, I was shown that animals are not as attached to their body as humans are. And so because they're not attached, if they feel a certain level of pain or suffering, they exit their bodies easily. They literally drop their body and leave. So even though their body might still be alive and moving and seem to be functioning, it'd be functioning on pure automation and cellular instinct. But the soul of the animal is already gone. I was shown that in this state, people see that the personality of the animal is not there. They would get the feeling that the body is just an empty shell. So at that point, putting down the body is of no consequence because the soul has already exited. Because of this mechanism, the animal does not suffer much and not for long. Even during roadkills or when they're hunted by predators, the soul of the animal drops the body and leaves before it can feel the suffering. Humans witnessing this spectacle project their own feelings of attachment to their own body, and so they think that the animal is in great pain being eaten alive. But, I was shown that it was just the shell or the body that is being killed because the essence of the animal itself has already exited. And I was shown that Tobo will be the same way. When the time comes, there's absolutely nothing I could do to hold on to her because she would have already left, even if I try to keep her body alive. I'll see the empty shell and know intuitively that she left. And so what I do with the empty shell is of no consequence. When I was shown this, for the first time in a long time, I felt really comforted. During this conversation with Spirit, I saw that I couldn't make a mistake. Anyway, I'll end the video here. I know this video was a bit raw and, maybe a little depressing because we're talking about death and all that. But, I felt compelled to share with you what was going on with me right now. So anyway, thanks for being here and shining your presence. And until next time, regards, Ray.
Oh no. Thank you.